Am I the asshole for going on vacation without my girlfriend if she can't pay her way?
Hi all. I, 39M, am dating someone, 33F, and have been for the last 3 months.
Things are going well until the topic of my 40th birthday came up. Next year I turn 40. And I've never taken an actual vacation. I've extended work trips to do something fun where I am.
I've traveled to visit friends or family.
Always just for a long weekend, never more than 3 days total. I want to take a week and travel purely for recreational purposes. My criteria is that the trip needs to be at least a week and be international. I've also worked hard to get my finances in shape since my 20s.
And now I have a decent business and some money set aside, and I feel like I'm ready for a trip, and next year would be a great opportunity as it is a milestone birthday.
My girlfriend is great. She works hard and supports herself.
But she doesn't make as much money and, most importantly, is currently saddled with around $20,000 in credit card debt arising from a period of unexpected unemployment she had in the past that forced her to burn through savings and live on credit cards.
When the topic of this trio came up, she first asked if she could go. I said sure. She then asked if we could go to Vegas. I told her about my desire for this to be an international trip.
Then she expressed concern over if she could afford it while at debt.
I told her I'd be willing to cover our lodging and, depending on where we go, help her pay for airfare.
Because we haven't been dating long, I don't feel comfortable paying her whole way and feel she should contribute financially to come along.
She then told me she didn't feel she could afford to cover meals plus half airfare even if I went somewhere relatively cheap. I was thinking possibly Caribbean, where trip flights are running typically under $500.
So I said that I understood, but I also have been wanting to do this milestone birthday thing for a while now, and I still intend to go even if just by myself, and would only be gone a week.
She became upset that I would travel without her, and it caused a bit of a fight. My friends and family are split. On the one hand, some point out how many things I wanted to do but didn't get to do because my ex refused to let me, and so I should go forth with or without her. On the other, some are saying it is cruel of me to be planning a vacation in front of a person who is trying to pay off large amounts of debt anyway. I can see both sides and just want to know, am I the asshole? 3 months and she expects you to either pay for her to go on an international, week-long vacation or change your long-term bucket list plans to suit her. Not the asshole, you've got too much of your own life to let yourself be held back by someone you're barely invested in. She can either get over her FOMO or you can find a new partner who is supportive. This is purely an opinion, but I think it's 10 times more understandable for things you had planned before you began dating and are still in your first year. I feel like that first year, if she wants to join you for a pre-planned trip, it should be 100% her responsibility to cover half. You are already being pretty generous. As said above, it's also not like you planned while she was in your life, so it's not that you planned to not include her. Not the asshole. Person $20,000 in debt wants to go to Vegas. Perfect. Not the asshole. Please go on your trip. It's not cruel to anyone. Not the asshole, my dude, you've only been together 3 months. Your offer was more than generous, by the way. If she can't afford even that, she doesn't go. 3 months is not enough time to be discussing a trip that will happen in the next year. Info. In the case she is still her girlfriend for her next birthday, how long will you be together? Will it be over a year? She's got 20 grand in credit card debt and you've been saying her for 3 months. She has zero ground to stand on here. Am I the asshole? Dude told me not to stop my stroller near his driveway. I'm peacefully walking with my prex son who is biking and my infant is in the stroller. We walk our neighborhood daily, super family friendly, people are walking here all day every day. I bring a double stroller in case my son gets tired of biking. We are walking along a very quiet street when a white truck passes us and turns around to park facing us. I'm just minding my business. The guy, mid-30s, very clean-cut, cartoony Avengers shirt on, stays in his truck. I notice. My son is whining, asking me to help put his stuffed animal in the cup holder of his bike. I put the brake on the stroller and still have the strap around my wrist. I turn around and quickly stuff Fox in there. Took maybe 3 seconds. As I'm turning around and letting up the brake, the guy is opening the door to call the 8 feet away that I shouldn't park your stroller there. She's going to be coming home soon and I don't want her to hit your baby. I look and I'm at a part of the sidewalk that intersects past a driveway. Pretty standard neighborhood stuff. There were no cars on the road. None audible anywhere near us. I was kind of caught off guard because the whole thing was so quick and it was preposterous to think I would have left my baby parked there to be hit by a car that wasn't even there.
It was also silly to think that someone was going to come speeding so fast down a residential loop and pull into their own driveway so fast they wouldn't see a huge double stroller and a person standing there.
And it was barely 3 seconds. I replied, "I think we are all set," with a little smile. He grimaced at me and said, "Well, I wouldn't want something to happen or someone to get hurt." I probably should have just pacified him with a, "Thank you," but I said, "I'm a vigilant mother." "Thank you." He couldn't leave it alone either and snarked back, "Oh, I'm sure you are." It was just so odd and got under my skin. It all seemed so passive-aggressive and contrived from the start. Of course my adorable child chimes in that he likes the guy's shirt and asks him what is on it. The guy ignores him, opens his car door, takes, or pretends to take, a call, and closes the door. The whole way down the street I looked to see if another car came quickly and no other cars came. Should I have just said, "Thanks," and just left the unnecessary comment alone? Am I the asshole? I feel a little creeped out by this person now. Too long did not read. Guy implied I was being unsafe by pausing my stroller in a driveway for 3 seconds when his parked car was the only one around. Edit. Prec equals pre-kindergarten, 3-4. Edit. After some excellent comments that really had me thinking either way. I realized that I stopped in the darn driveway because if I had waited until after the driveway I would have been standing right next to the dude who'd just turned around and parked facing me and stayed in his car watching me as I walked down the road. As I put it all together now I think I was trying to stay in open view. My kid was whining about Fox and not wanting to go forward and it felt like the best way to just hustle us along. I feel generally safe in this neighborhood so this was just a good reminder of some other safety concerns to keep in mind. Thanks for the thoughtful comments. Honestly, sounds like he was looking for any excuse to give you a thinly veiled threat. Lol at the people saying that guy was trying to help. He wasn't trying to help. He was being weirdly controlling about the part of the sidewalk that touches his driveway. No one needs a heads up that cars use driveways and could at some point come through. Op wasn't camped out, they stopped for mere seconds. Clear not the asshole. Seems like the perfect occasion to break out the, "Oh, bless your heart." Not the asshole. This falls under somebody giving unsolicited, and officious, advice to an adult. It might have been justifiable from a safety standpoint if it looked like you were planning to stay for a while rather than making a short stop. Best response would have been a simple and ambiguous wave to the meddler. Not the asshole. Weird passive-aggressive neighbor is weird and passive-aggressive. Not the asshole. Plenty of people stop for a second or two on the sidewalk, sometimes in front of a driveway, to adjust something during their walk. He was being confrontational in broad daylight with a woman who had 2 little kids in tow. So brave, much manly face with rolling eyes. I'm picturing his truck as this giant, white, lifted monstrosity with a Punisher sticker on the rear windshield. We all know the type. Am I the asshole for asking girlfriend not to come to my play? I, 28M, have been involved in theater since high school. I now do community theater as a way to make friends and keep up with a hobby. My girlfriend, 28F, played sports and told me early on in dating that she thought theater was cringe and she didn't like it. NBD, couples don't have to have the same interests. I took a few months off but I just got cast in a musical. She asked when the show is and I said not to worry about it because I'd rather she didn't come knowing she wouldn't enjoy it. This upset her because she said she wants to support me. She and her friends have made fun of me in the past about being a theater kid, which I took in stride, but I'd feel more supported knowing they aren't out in the audience cringing and laughing about it behind my back. I'm not going to stop doing something I like to do, but if she doesn't like it, so what? No reason to go. But am I the a-hole for saying I don't want her to go? A lot of people have commented that we were in high school. I've been dating her for 8 months, didn't know her in HS. All of these comments, discussions happened recently. Not the asshole, but I don't know why you're continuing to date someone who has mocked you and calls your hobby cringe. I love theater and haven't acted since high school, 34 now, but my husband is constantly encouraging me to audition for community theater.
Not the asshole, but this is not the same thing as not having the same interests.
If she's calling it cringe and laughing about it with friends, that's an issue. Not the asshole. I would outline for her the third paragraph. Let her know exactly why she isn't welcome there. Her past actions mean you aren't comfortable with her or her friends watching any performance of yours in the present or future. Actions have consequences and these are hers. It's one thing to dislike your partner's hobby, it's another to mock it. My partner likes to collect these little anime souvenirs. Can't think of the actual name. I think it's completely dorky and have no interest in this. I have bought that man at least half of his toys now, despite the fact that I cringe picking them up at the store. Someone who loves you will support your interests and won't mock you while doing so. She feels comfortable publicly making fun of her boyfriend in front of her own friends? Yay. Nope. I dunno about other people, but when there's someone I love or care about, I would never dare make fun of them in front of my friends. If someone talked about them behind their back to me, I'd literally defend them behind their back too. Also, as a theater kid myself, I can literally say that unless you are actually going to pay attention and get invested in what you are seeing, you are absolutely coming to waste your time. I'm surprised she's not actually happy that you asked her to not come. When all of a sudden now she wants to support you even though she wouldn't in front of her own friends. You are not the asshole, by the way. Not the asshole. Maybe you should be reconsidering the whole relationship. It's totally fine and normal for couples to have different interests, but it's not okay to make fun of the other person's. Even if she doesn't like theater, she doesn't have to be rude about it. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Isn't the key decider here, in the past? Are we talking recent past, or 10 years ago back in school? If it's recent, then not the asshole. If it's 10 years ago, then you are the asshole. People change and your girlfriend may have been a jerk when she was younger, but now wants to support you. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she will have to take care of walking the dog if she wants one? Me, M27, and my 2 years girlfriend, F28, are not currently living together, but hope to in the future. Talking about living together and whatnot, she stated that to her having a dog at some place in our future is fundamental. I love dogs, but do see a big effort in taking care of one and always thought I would be more of a cat person in life. I'm not very keen on the idea of having to take a dog for a walk twice a day. In the long run I would consider it a burden, and I would want to make sure a pet of mine can have a happy, healthy life, which would be harder if I get lazy and don't take it for regular walks. Basically, it wouldn't be fair to the pet. I don't mind having a dog in my home. I just don't see myself having the patience to walk it all the time. There are days I don't want to go out of the house and that would force me to. So I told her that I acknowledge the importance of her desire to have one, and that I would be okay, but that she shouldn't take for granted the fact that I will walk it as often as her. In the house I'll be happy to give it baths, buy it toys, clean, etc. But I want her to be sure that she could bear the effort of walking the dog by herself, and not only considering me as part of the equation. This is also because she currently lives with her family. They have 2 dogs, but they are family dogs, so when she moves out they would remain with her parents and sister. Since her parents are the only ones who constantly take the dogs out, and she also doesn't feel like walking them most of the time, and knowing me, I'm afraid I'll be the one who has to do it when she doesn't want to, just like her parents. She says that she would do it if her parents didn't and it was only up to her, but she also blames me for only wanting to take care of the fun part of having a dog. I do see her point, but I think a relationship is about compromises, and I'm trying to compromise about having a dog, which I hadn't pictured in my life in dog-related chores. While it feels like she is reasoning in absolutes, I have to have a dog in our life. At the same time I feel guilty. I should trust her to be able to take care of it, but previous experiences in my life led me to resenting my then partner for leaving all the workload on me, and I don't want that to happen again, which is why I think these conversations beforehand are important. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I don't want a dog as a pet either. I like other people's dogs. My partner does not care for her dog. She doesn't take it for walks, doesn't play with it, doesn't take it outside, didn't train her at all. Not even housebroken. It's awful. I told her that I am never going to live with her and a dog again. If your girlfriend won't accept responsibility for walking a hypothetical dog, she won't walk a real one. Edit. Y'all are really assuming I'm not stepping up? It's called a cautionary tale if Op doesn't want to end up like me.
They need to put their foot down and not get a dog. If your girlfriend thinks walking a dog is a chore rather than part of the joy of having a dog, then she really should not get a dog.
Not the asshole. Read those posts.
Not the asshole, but in my experience these kind of arrangements rarely actually work out.
What happens if she ends up in the hospital and can't walk the dog?
What happens if she goes away and refuses to find someone else to do it because she expects you to? The fact that she's already blaming you for only wanting to do the fun stuff, and she's not the one doing most of the walks with the dogs at her parents' house, very much seems like there's a high chance of her initially agreeing to your compromise with the mindset that once you actually have the dog you'll change your mind. If she's dead set on having a dog, and you're not really interested in caring for a dog pet, it seems like maybe you aren't compatible.
Not the asshole. Know thyself.
You're pretty much telling her that you're not willing to do what it takes to raise a dog. She doesn't want to walk the dogs either. So, she either has a strong sense of denial, or isn't as realistic as you about what it takes to raise a dog and is guilty of the thing she's projecting onto you she only wants, the fun part.
I'm puzzled that both of you seem to think bathing and cleaning up the dog hair are the fun parts of having a dog thinking face.
Walking the dog is always the best part for me. Exercise clears the mind and gets me away from staring at a computer for work.